So it looks like Jonathan Majors is, in some hot water. Hey y'all, we gotta have a series of conversations about these Jonathan Majors allegations. According to People magazine, it reads, Jonathan Majors charged with multiple counts of assault by New York District Attorney after arrest. Jonathan Majors was arrested in New York City on Saturday following an alleged domestic dispute. Jonathan Majors was charged with multiple misdemeanor counts of assault and harassment 2 days after he was arrested in New York City. On Monday, People obtained documents from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office that shows Majors, 33, was charged with 3 counts of assault in the third degree, aggravated harassment in the second degree, 3 counts of attempted assault in the third degree, and harassment in the second degree, after he was arrested for an alleged domestic dispute on Saturday. The documents showed the victim told police that Majors allegedly struck her about the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear, as well as allegedly grabbed her hand and neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. Now, following the arrest, Priya Chaudhry Majors, criminal defense attorney, maintained in a statement shared on Sunday with People that the actor is completely innocent and is probably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows. We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectation that all charges will be dropped immediately. Chaudhry said in a statement, the evidence includes a video footage from the vehicle where this episode took place, witness testimony from the driver and others who both saw and heard the episode, and most importantly, 2 written statements from the women recanting these allegations. On Sunday, New York City Police Department told People in a statement that approximately 11:14 hours, police responded to a 911 call inside of an apartment located in the vicinity of West 22nd Street and 8th Avenue, within the confines of the 8th Precinct. Police continued that a preliminary investigation determined that a 33-year-old male was involved in a domestic dispute with a female who was 30. The victim informed police she was assaulted. Officers placed the 33-year-old male into custody without incident. NYPD shared that the victim sustained minor injuries to her head and neck and was removed to an area hospital in stable condition. While police identified Majors, who was originally listed as charged with strangulation, assault, and harassment, the victim was not identified. Now, Majors' representative said he has not done nothing wrong. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up. Now, Chaudhry said in a statement that the incident came about because this woman was having an emotional crisis for which she was taken to a hospital yesterday. The NYPD is required to make an arrest in these situations, and this is the only reason Mr. Majors was arrested, she told People magazine. We expect these charges to be dropped soon. After his arrest on Saturday, the Marvel star was seen leaving a New York City courthouse wearing a hat bearing the words "Freedom, Freedom," according to images of Majors published by the Daily Mail. Now, Majors is next scheduled to appear in court on May 8th. Now, I'm going to say this. Hold on. So here's my thing with Jonathan Majors. You're an upcoming actor, and you got to be cautious at all times. And that goes for anybody who's upcoming, particularly black men. I'm not saying it didn't happen, and I'm not saying it happened. But what I'm saying is that we got to look at context and subtext. And what I mean by between the two, context is basically what you're seeing and what's being presented to you. Whether it's in words, whether it's in visual pictures, photos, film, whether it's, whether you're even hearing, context, hearing things like audio, and so forth. But subtext, you gotta read between the lines or see between the photo or inside. When he was on the Oscars and him and Michael B. Jordan said, "We love you, Auntie," to Angela Bassett, I said one of them is going to be caught up in a scandal before this month is over. I just said it. Because it's like they got off cold and pretty much, shout out Angela Bassett instead of just presenting an award. You understand? They showed their love to a black woman on an international televised show. Now, here's the thing. I've never heard anything bad about Jonathan Majors. I've been familiar with him since Lovecraft Country. I love that show. I just wish that it could have had a second season, but because of how it ended in terms of the finale, there's no way it could have had a first season. It should have just had they should have just called it a limited series instead of calling it like an actual series that could have had a second season. Now, I think Jonathan Majors was showing his love to Angela Bassett because he worked with her husband, Courtney B. Vance, on the show. So he probably knows her through him. Now, I feel that it could be a setup. I feel that it could be something where they want to sully his name because he's working for Marvel. Ant-Man movie and Creed were big hits. He's the first black man to have back-to-back #1 films on the box office. Another thing, too, is that Marvel is doing much better than DC. And Ezra Miller's situation, they don't know what to do with him. So it's like, we got this situation at DC Films with Ezra Miller. We don't know what we're going to do with The Flash. We're going to release it, but it may not be a hit. Jonathan Majors had this hit with the Ant-Man film. So we gotta, try to come at him. It could be a hit piece from DC. You never know. Or he could have really did that shit and have a problem because there's this alleged tea going around on the streets of Lipstick Alley, that there was this like live, secret live where they revealed that this man actually likes to put his hands on women. So here's my take on all of it. I want to see Jonathan Majors win, but if he did that shit, then he needs to be charged with something. Now, it's misdemeanor, so more than likely, it's not a jail sentence. I don't think they want to send him to jail. I think they want to dirty his image because he's a threat. Because Ezra Miller was supposed to be a big name in Hollywood. That dude effed up, having cults, being really violent, and seen it on film, but they never fired him. But the black guy that was in the Marvel film, guess what? They fired him. So it's like the racism that goes on in Hollywood with black male actors, especially, is real. It's not a joke. And we, as the consumer of, Hollywood, because we consume Hollywood, we need to be very careful and cautious of how we spend our dollars and cents. That's why I don't run out to see every film. Okay? Because even if you black, Biffa, if you a coon, you ain't getting my dollars nor cents. Alright? So as far as Jonathan Majors, this is your lesson. You getting a Bill Cosby treatment. And if she's a white woman, may God be with you. And with that being said, I'm signing out. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.